going on with my hair? Where's my water? Where are my glasses? Oh, that's a shame. I can't see without them. Well, it look like a few people. Okay, that's that one dread right there is going. My nerve. Look like a few people are getting a notifications. I wish I could open this door. It's kind of warm in here. Oh, my stomach growling. Y'all heard that? Ignore my stomach. Hi, Brew, hi, and Biker. I can't see anybody else. It's saying people are here, but I can't see them. Oh, I'm good, sweetie. How are you? Very good. I just took a good nap. That's probably why I got my hair is kind of lopsided. It is what it is, child. Yeah, it's saying 7 people are here, but everybody is having issues with the lives right now. I heard somebody say, thank you. I heard somebody say that YouTube is not supporting the live broadcast anymore, but I think that's if you try to go live through the YouTube app. And I mean, like on your computer, if you try to go live that way, I think some people are having problems, but I always go live from my phone, so I'm not really sure. But I mean, YouTube is short staffed just like everybody else right now. Like, I'm pretty sure they probably had to lay off some people too. Oh, your Xbox is tripping too? Well, that's because it's probably more people on the internet than it has been in a long time. Like the internet is probably overloaded. Like earlier today, I was watching Sling and it just went off. And it can't be because we just got a new modem, a new router, and extender. Um, so it can't be that. It's just got to be that the system is just overloaded. It's just too many people on the internet. I mean, if you think about all of the school kids are on the internet right now, plus all of their parents, people that are working from home, and just regular people like me that are always at home, it's like way too many people. Hey, Cola Cola. Yeah, it's a streaming overload for real. So today, the governor of California had a press conference where he basically said that here in California, um, we're not even looking at things going back to normal at least until May. That May is when he said we will even talk about restaurants and stuff opening back up and stuff that's closed opening back up. But this is one thing that he did say. He said, as far as the school system, they're trying to revamp the schools to where they can have the kids staggered in school because they don't want all these kids outside playing together and they don't even want all these kids eating lunch and stuff together. So they're talking about staggering the school day. So you parents, y'all better try to start finding somebody to keep your kids when you go back to school because it don't look like the way we used to live. I think that's over. Plus, he said that when restaurants do open back up, the seating will be limited. So if restaurants had a certain amount of tables, they're going to have to take some of those tables out. The seating is going to be limited in restaurants. Parents, I advise you now to look for a backup plan for your children because it does not look like school is going to look like it looked before this all started. So you better be looking at if you have a job that you cannot work from home, you better be looking for someplace for your kids to go because your kids may have to stay home 2 days a week and you're at work. You better start devising a plan now, looking into that situation now. Make sure you're watching your state updates because all states, which is so stupid to me, but all the states are different. This is what um, Governor Newsom was talking about today. And he also said that stores and restaurants may start to implement a system where your temperature is taken if you work in the restaurant field or you work in the grocery stores or anything like that. They're talking about implementing a system where your temperature can be taken at the start of your shift. Because if you don't know, you need to look online. China is doing that to everybody. When you I saw this young man's video and he said when he get up in the morning to I think when he leaves his apartment complex, they take his temperature and when he get to work, I think they take it. It's interesting that a lot of things that and I know that, this disease, virus, whatever you want to call it, started in China. So China has already implemented certain policies and procedures to deal with this type of stuff. And so now the U.S. is looking, I guess, at their policies and procedures, and we're going to implement a lot of the things here that they're doing in China. And what kind of scared me was today he said that they're talking about doing a thorough cleaning, like a thorough cleaning of the schools before the kids come back, a thorough cleaning of the schools, a thorough cleaning of the parks, and a thorough cleaning of the street. Now, there are videos of workers in China spraying some type of chemical, like they had told everybody to stay in the house that day. Don't go out your house at all. They had told everybody to stay in the house that day or that week or whatever. And there were people going down the street, they were spraying cars and everything with some type of chemical that was coming out like a mist. And that's what I'm wondering. Are they gonna try to do that here? Hey, beautiful magic. Hey, Leah. You saw that? You saw that, Bruhan biker? There are a lot of videos. Um, there are a lot of videos in China that are surfacing now with a lot of stuff that I just feel like um, they're gonna try to implement here. So I want to read you guys this article that was posted by the Daily Mail, and I somewhat consider the Daily Mail reputable. But it says McDonald's in China bans black people from entering out of fears they have the virus. And there's a picture of McDonald's with, I'm assuming those are signs telling the black people that they can't come in. This is the Daily Mail's um, website, and it says uproar as McDonald's bans black people from entering their store in a Chinese city out of fears they may have the virus. A video recently circulating online showed a customer holding a sign that read, "We've been informed from now on black people are not allowed to enter the restaurant." The store is believed to be located in the southern Chinese city Guzhou. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The footage sparked uproar online after the fast food chain was accused of fueling the rising xenophobia, particularly towards African nationals in the country. McDonald said the notice is not representative of our inclusive values. The U.S. fast food giant has temporarily closed the branch, according to, I knew McDonald's was going to have to come out, according to a statement. The incident came after African officials confronted China publicly and in private over racist mistreatment of Africans in the Chinese city of Wuhan or whatever. The notice, written in English, said the prohibition was established out of concerns for the customer's health. For the sake of your health, and consciously notify the local police for medical isolation. Please understand the inconvenience caused. The video, uploaded by Twitter account Black Lividity China, sparked outrage on social media. Banning black people is effing insane. The world needs to know about this. China calls racism all the time. This is real racism. One commenter wrote. Another one read, "I feel sorry for what black people are going through in China. I'm Chinese, but I absolutely support you to fight for your rights. No one should be treated like this." As a brand, as a company, and as more than 2.2 million people serving nearly 120 countries around the world, this is not representative of our inclusive values, said McDonald's. Immediately upon learning of our unauthorized communication to our guests as at a restaurant in that city in China, we immediately removed the communication and temporarily closed the restaurant. As part of the temporary closure of this restaurant, we will take the opportunity to further educate managers and employees on our values, which includes serving all members of the community in which we operate. But this is just one. store. And since McDonald's is owned by a corporation, it's, you know, easy for them to deal with, that situation. But what about the mom and pop stores? What about the mom and pop grocery stores that are doing the same thing? There are still lots of Africans and African Americans in China reporting that they're still not being allowed to go to stores. They're not being allowed to go to hospitals. I saw one young lady on this. As a matter of fact, he's on live now talking, and one young lady said that something happened to her brother, and he tried to go to a hospital in China, and he was turned away. And there are instances. Okay, it's getting on my nerves that like cutting my head off. Let me scoot y'all back just a little bit. Um, that's better. There are instances where people have been to the grocery store to get groceries and were told that they couldn't come in. So, what are they trying to do to us? Starve us to death? Like, y'all already putting people out of their apartments. And I heard some of the people that were put out of their apartments were able to go back, and an apology was issued to them. I don't know if if they got the consulate involved, or but this is just hearsay. We don't know for sure if this has happened, but I have heard that some of the people that were put out of their apartments, since this situation is now going viral, that um, they were allowed back in because there were a lot of pictures coming out of China with African people just sleep on the street in sleeping bags and just blankets just laying on the street because they have been put out of their apartments. This is serious, y'all. This is so serious. Like, it hurts my heart to hear that someone went to the grocery store and was told, "No, we not servicing no black people." In 2020, I can't even believe that. Like, I can't. I'm flabbergasted. And I need to shave. Ooh, my hair is growing back thick. I can't even believe it. Oh, and another thing that the governor said today, he kept kind of sliding in the fact that they're still working on the vaccine. There's gonna be a vaccine. As soon as everything is finished, they're going to issue a vaccine. We taking a vaccine, y'all? We gonna take a vaccine? Do we trust the government enough to take a vaccine, y'all? And why do we have to take a vaccine if we're not sick? Like, I have allergies. I got allergies. But what I gotta take a vaccine for if I'm not sick? If I don't have a fever or any symptoms of this disease, nobody, virus, I keep saying disease, virus. No one that I'm around, I ain't seen no sick people. Even when I went to the store, everybody is just walking around, with a mask on or whatever. Don't nobody look sick. Everybody just out here living their life. And they are saying that some states are requiring the mask is mandatory. It is no longer, oh, you can wear a mask if you want to. No, some states they are saying the mask is mandatory. And it's not, I don't think it's mandatory here in California. I think here in California they're still saying, please just wear a mask. But in some states they are making it mandatory, anytime you go in the store, and not only will it be mandatory for you, it is also mandatory for people who work in restaurants and stores and all that kind of stuff. It should have been mandatory for them. It should have been mandatory from the gate. It should have always been mandatory. When this first started, it should have been mandatory. Oh, everybody is saying no. But what if they went to the embassy? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Monique. I was thinking that they had to have went to the consulate or the embassy or whatever they have in China to tell them what was going on. But what if they make this vaccination mandatory? What if, and this is hypothetical because YouTube is demonetizing these videos anyway. So we can just talk about whatever we want to talk about. What if they say if you don't take this vaccine, um, they'll put a hole in your bank because the stimulus check is going straight to your bank, right? And people that don't have banks, I heard they have set up a website where you can go in and give your complete address so that the check can come to you. I really believe that this was a setup to make sure they have a way to contact everybody that got that stimulus check. You don't get that shot because they have you. They're going to have your banking information, your direct deposit, your bank, all that information. Well, they got that anyway from, you know, IRS. But the people that don't have banks and are getting paper checks, they're going to have your information too. Because you told them where to send the check to. And in China, if the people didn't come and get swabbed, they sent the police to the house. You know they can go door to door if they have to. They will just knock on every door. They're going to get you. If they want you, they're going to get you. So don't think, oh, I'm gonna live under the, no, it ain't no such thing. You can't live off the grid in a big city, especially if you're paying taxes, you have direct deposit, you on food stamps, you getting any type of governmental assistance, you have car insurance, you have a social security card. They gonna find you. They know where Gizmo at. Gizmo got a dog license. Gizmo is not chipped, but he has a dog license. He his vaccines are registered. When he gets his rabies vaccine, his collar has a number on it. That rabies vaccine is linked to Gizmo Brown. Who does Gizmo Brown belong to? He belongs to me and my husband. We have the same last name. On Gizmo's medical chart, he has our last name. So you know if they can find a dog, they can find you. And this ain't no conspiracy. I ain't trying to be no conspiracist or anything. I'm trying to be real. I'm telling you, this is real. You're not going to hide from the government. If they do have a vaccine, you're not going to hide. And if they're saying that everybody in California or everybody in Mississippi or everybody in Texas or everybody in Chicago or everybody in New York got to take this vaccine, you're going to take this vaccine. So you may as well get your mind wrapped around this right now and get to praying that whatever is in that vaccine don't do no major damage. Oh, honey, I already, Andre Tree can't see me. I already knew the way Chinese people felt about Africans and it ain't just Africans, it's African Americans too. Cause one night, you know how you just fall into a rabbit hole sometimes on YouTube. I don't know how I fell into this. I fell into this first watching how Chinese treat older, how they treat their own old poor people. Because in China, if you don't have no money, you're not going to a nursing home. Okay? You're not. The nursing homes are for people who have a whole lot of money. And poor old people live in cages in China. Like the cages that the crate that we have for Gizmo, they live in something like that, all stacked up on top of each other in just slums. They have what's called cage apartments, and it's just apartments full of, it's just rooms full of cages that people live in. I think they say it's like 6 feet. Each cage is 6 feet long, not 6 feet tall though. So you can sit up in the thing, but you can't stand up. In order to stand up, you got to get out. That's how they treat their own people, their own old people. So you know how they treat black people. I saw this one video where this guy was like walking down the street and just asking. I think this was in Japan though, asking Japanese people, how what do they think about black men. Do you know that Chinese men are really jealous of black men? They think that all of the black men want their women, and not just want their women. They think that black men are able to take their women from them. So they are fearful. That's fear that they have of black men. They feel inferior to black men. They feel like the black men will take their women from them. Not just take their women, but take their women from them. They scared. They are afraid of us. It's fear. Hi, daughter of Judah. It's fear. That's their problem. They are afraid of us. Chinese people, Japanese people, in, they have all of these stereotypes of black people, like we stink, we're ugly, our noses are big, our hair is nappy, and our hair stinks and all of this kind of stuff. I'm gonna tell you guys this story. I used to be a security guard, and I used to work at the Hilton near the airport. And this was like when my dreads were maybe about like right here, because it was like early in my dread journey. And so I was working as a security guard. And so I'm standing near, where you check in, the front desk or whatever. And so this Asian family comes in, and I didn't know, that they were Japanese, and to be honest, didn't care. And they kept staring at me. So I was like, God, dog. Because I hate when people do that. Like, I hate when people stare at me. Seriously. Just say hi or something. Don't just, and for some reason, Asian people they don't have no filter. They don't know how to just look casually and then kind of glance away. They was just like, like they ain't never seen nobody black with dreadlocks before. Hold that thought. So, they checked in or whatever, and the guy who, helped them with their bags, took them upstairs. He came back downstairs and he was like, um, the the young lady wanted to apologize to you because they were staring, but they thought that your hair was beautiful and they wanted to talk to you. And I was like, do they speak English? Is you the translator? And he was like, no, the daughter, and I think she was like 17 or 18 or something like that. It was like she speaks English. The parents didn't speak much English, but she did. So he was like, she wants to talk to you. And I was like, about what? Because I used to be mean. I really did. But anyway, um, he was like, will you talk to her? And I was like, yeah, I guess. So he rung her room and she came downstairs and she was so polite. She was so respectful. And she was just like, oh, your hair is so beautiful. I just we just couldn't stop looking at you. You're so beautiful. And, we don't see too many. Did she say black or African American? I think she said African. I think she said African. And I had to tell her, I'm American. I'm not African. I'm African American. I was born here in America. And then we got to talking, and she told me she was Japanese and she was still in school and they were there for a wedding. But anyway, she said, can you braid my hair? Can you do my hair like yours? And I was like, my hair is not braided. These are not braids. These are dreadlocks. These are not braids. And she was like, oh, you can't do my. And she had beautiful hair. I mean, she had. I had never seen a Japanese person with wavy hair. This girl's hair was gorgeous. It was coal black and it was wavy. And I don't know if she had a perm or what was going on, but her hair was really pretty. And she was like, um, "Can you braid my hair, or can you do dreadlocks to my hair?" Um, and I think she said that they were gonna be here for like a week. They were here for a wedding or whatever. And she was like, "Can you do it before we go back to Japan?" And I was like, girl, I can't give you no dreadlocks. No. I can braid your hair, but I can't give you dreadlocks. And she was, I don't know why, I just really liked the little girl. She was so sweet. Because she did, she was like, can I touch it? Can I? She was all quiet and timid and stuff. So, I let her touch one to see, what it was like. And she was talking to me and stuff. She was like, oh, if you came to Japan, you would be so rich because a lot of the young people in Japan want their hair braided. She said it is a need in Japan for people that braid hair because the younger culture is into the African American and the American culture. They like our culture. You know, she was asking about stores where she could buy like American clothes and the whole American style and all of this she was so interested in like the urban. She kept saying like urban look, you know, because that's big in Japan. This was some years ago, but it's probably still big in Japan because there are underground clubs in Japan where they put dark makeup on and do their hair and put on wigs and stuff so they can look like black women and wear like clothes and stuff that we're wearing, that knockoff stuff they'll be coming from Japan. We get that stuff out here too, them old cheap fake Gucci and all of that kind of stuff. They wear that kind of stuff to underground clubs and everything. It is a lot of videos on YouTube about Chinese and Japanese kids who want to be into the black culture and how their families cannot stand to see them walking around emulating black Americans. They want to be us. So I did braid her hair a little bit, not like uh, I wasn't trying to get rid of no dreadlocks, but I did braid her hair like just some singles, and she was so happy. I braided her hair, put it up in a cute little ponytail and stuff, and she tried to give me like $200. And I didn't want to take that little girl money. I really didn't. I was like, no, girl, you ain't gonna give me no $200. I think I kept like 60. And I wasn't doing it for free. Okay, I didn't take 200 though. But it's I mean it's interesting. All you gotta do is go on YouTube and type in like Japanese black culture or black culture in Japan, and a whole lot of videos will come up. A lot. I mean, they out there wearing dread wigs and all kind of stuff, trying to emulate what they think is the urban culture here in the U.S. That's why them Chinese people so mad because are their children love to emulate us, the urban culture, what they think the urban culture is. But black people stink and they ugly. And I would never like I saw some Japanese women. Oh, I would never be with a black man, and black men they big and mean, and they'll beat me up and all this kind of stuff. It's just crazy the stereotypes that they have of us. Which one is it, Kay? Because I'm looking at one guy right now, and that seems to be. I think his thing is BEJ. It seems like his entire channel is dedicated to how black people are treated in China, Japan, Korea, um, all those Asian countries. Because I'm not really sure where he is, but I think he's in some part of Asia, and I think he's Jamaican because he has um, heavy Caribbean accent. So he's something. He from the Caribbean, Jamaica or somewhere. Oh, thank you, Isaiah. So, um, so people, what is going on is very serious right now. It's very serious right now. Kay said, what about the married interracial couples, Asian and black in China? I don't know. That's what I worry about too. And these little, their children, are they doing it to them too? Because the little kids, because our genes is strong. And you could probably look at a little Asian child that is mixed and see some black in them. Are they being mistreated? Because it looks crazy over there. I thought they lifted that one child rule in China. I thought that was lifted a couple of years ago. I thought they could finally have more than one um, child. I know they was having a lot of issues um, with that more than one child rule. And it's crazy because don't they have problems with birth control over there, or what were they doing to help the women not get pregnant? Were they sterilizing women over there, or do they mandatorily put women on birth control after they have the first baby? The Black Experience in Japan. Yeah, yeah, that's it. BEJ. Black Experience in Japan. That's the same one that I'm watching right now. Um, I've been watching him for a couple of days now. He was the one that I told you about that was interviewing people who are actually in Japan now. That teacher, the young lady that got fired from her job, she in Japan and she's trying to leave. She either in Japan or China. I don't know, child. But she trying to leave there and get to Korea because I don't think what's going on in China is going on in Korea. They're not they're not acting crazy like they are in that part of um, China. So she said she was trying to get a teaching job in Korea. So I guess the Chinese schools are out right now also because I heard another young man, he said that he taught English also there in China, and he said school is out right now, and I guess when school lets out, like they're on a lease for their apartment, and when school is out, your lease is up because you ain't get no money, so they assume that either you gonna go someplace else or you gonna either find another job. And he said right now he ain't got no job. He said at first they had said that they was going to pay a certain amount of his salary or whatever, but he said they came back and was like, "Nah, we ain't got it like that. So you gonna have to find something else to do." So he said, "Thank goodness he had saved. Um, he has savings, and he looking for another job." So, honey, We got to cover our brothers and sisters that are not here right now because this ain't no joke. This is serious. And I don't understand why a lot of other YouTubers, y'all stupid favorite YouTubers, instead of sitting up talking about how long Tracy teeth is, why you not talking about what's going on with our people in Japan, in China? Oh, Andre Free Can't See Me said, you're right. China is on the second child policy since 2015. Yeah, I thought they said that they had finally lifted um, the ban for that one child thing. Kay said, I started watching him when he interviewed a black man from the South in the States and a black female lawyer, one of the first actually. Oh, that black man that does the um what do they call that when they paint on the t-shirts and stuff? That guy that said he's been like to basically all of the, it's not silks, I forgot what that's called, when you know when you do the spray painting on like t-shirts and stuff. He uh he did that. I saw part of that interview. Yeah, that's him. He's an artist and he does graffiti. Yeah, yeah, that was the one. Airbrush. Thank you. Yeah, that's the one I saw too. I didn't see the lawyer, so I do want to watch that one and see um, what her experience is like. And I'm assuming that if she is a lawyer in Japan, in China, then she must speak the language. Um, because you have to be a lawyer, you have to be able to communicate with your clients unless your most of your clients are American. But the young man that um was it yesterday? I think he was on there yesterday. He was saying that the laws are so different in China. Like if like they don't have unemployment and stuff like we have here. So when you ain't working, you just got to get another job because they don't, have unemployment set up for people where you get unemployment when you're not working and you gotta go back to work or whatever. It's just not set up like that. And so he was saying that at first they had told him that they were gonna give him a portion of his salary, and then they was like, nah, we ain't, we ain't gonna do that. And so the guy was like, well, can't you talk to somebody? He was like, no, this is, they don't do it like that over here. You just basically just gotta kind of deal with what they say. Just like when they was telling those people, those African people, that they had to get out of their apartment even though they had paid their rent and everything. The police just came and was putting them out. Like you don't have rights in China like we have here. Like we are so fortunate here, and you don't realize how fortunate we are until you look at situations that are going on in other countries and you're like, oh my God, I couldn't deal with that. Or I'm glad I don't have to deal with that. You know what I mean? Even though we talk crazy about things that are going on here in the US, it can be so much worse. Because it is so much worse in other places. Kay says she's a mature black woman. She's the first to create a business to assist women that were going through financially after having children with military men that went back to the States. Wow. But that's the thing though. A lot of um, Asian women are attracted to um, black men. They were attracted to soldiers during the Vietnam War. I mean, there were a lot of mixed children born when the military was in Vietnam. Hey, hold on, y'all. Ooh, I'll be making some faces, though. What was I saying? What was I saying, y'all? Oh, about the Vietnamese um, children, and then after you know all the military cleared out of Vietnam, a lot of those black babies were thrown into orphanages because the Vietnamese women didn't want them. You wanted that black man, but then when you had that black baby, you didn't want it. Like, what did they think the baby was gonna look like? So a lot of those babies were put in orphanages, abandoned. So yeah, a lot of these um but I think that a lot of those women probably thought that if they got with an American man, an American military man, that could have been their way to, get to the U.S. But they was like, nah, I don't want you. Mm-mm. I just, we out here and you somebody to have sex with. I'm not about to bring you home. That kind of stuff still goes on to this day. So I'm gonna have to watch. I'm gonna have to watch. I'm gonna watch that one, Kay, because I would like to see what. I would like to see. Oh, Andre Tree Can't See Me says there's another. He put the channel here. Is an African American YouTuber who speaks many Asian languages and has very interesting encounters with Asian people, surprising them with his knowledge. Hmm. I have to go check that out. There's a. Has anybody seen a video of the young girl? Um, I think she said she was born in Japan. Looks like her father is black, and maybe her mother is Japanese. And I think she was raised primarily in Japan, so she speaks fluent Japanese. And it's just so strange because she is darker, you know, complected, I'm assuming, like her dad. But to hear her, let me see if I can find, let me see if I can find her that video because she's a very beautiful girl. Okay, it's called is this the second one? It's called Life as Half Black, Half Japanese High School Girl. And the YouTube channel is called Asian Boss. That one is interesting. And it's another one. I don't see that one. Oh, this one. I'm culturally Japanese. Black in Japan. Oh, and this is by the channel that we're watching now. The Black Experience in Japan. And this young lady was born and raised in Japan. I saw that one. Well, I actually saw both of them. Those are interesting. And she was talking about her um, experiences being black and born and raised in Japan. Like she wasn't really, she didn't really say anything, real negative, but you can tell that her family shelters her. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they probably don't really allow her to go out a lot by herself. I'm pretty sure they are sheltering her because you hear too much other stuff about how black people are treated in Japan. One of my daughters is fluent in Spanish. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. Because most people assume that the only thing that we speak is English. And when we speak something other than English, yeah, they're going to look at us funny because I don't want to say it's rare, but especially here in the US, if you're black, you know, 8 times out of 10, okay, maybe 7 times out of 10, your um, primary language is English, unless you grow up in a household where someone is speaking something other than English. Like my granddaughter speaks Tagalog, but she is not fluent. Like she can understand conversations because she's been watching Filipino soap operas since she was a baby. So she can understand what is going on, but I wouldn't say that she is totally fluent in Tagalog because her grandmother, um, her other grandmother, was born in the Philippines, and you can clearly tell that English is her second language because her English is very broken, so you can tell Tagalog is her or whatever other language they speak in the Philippines is her first language. Yeah, that's good. She can translate. That's why I be telling my granddaughter all the time. Um, my granddaughter's mom to make sure that girl can speak Tagalog, cause she can get money just from being a translator. Cause now almost everybody in the U.S. comes from somewhere. We're not the only people. If you can speak Spanish or one of the Asian languages, that kind of puts you in a different bracket than other people. Even though they do have those machines now in the hospital that some kind of those little translator things. I haven't seen them. I don't know, y'all. It's something that they roll up in there, and they can push the button to and speak. You can talk to the train. I don't know, y'all. Something they be doing. Yeah, I took it. I took Spanish in high school too. We all did. We all had to take some type of foreign language. You either had to take Spanish or French. But yeah, I, when I was in high school, I didn't think we were going to, because when I was in high school, I'm like, I ain't going to Mexico. I never thought that the Hispanic population would grow the way that it has in California. Never thought that. So when I was in high school, the only thing I was serious about was, passing that class. I wasn't serious about retaining the Spanish the Spanish language because I never thought that I would have to use it. I just really never thought that and I haven't. You know what I mean? Like if I go to a Mexican restaurant, everybody there speaks English, and if they don't, they speak enough English for me to say steak taco, and they know what I'm talking about. So, I've never been in a situation where I've had to, um, I've really had to use it. But yeah, I took Spanish in high school. I hated it. But I really, for some reason, I didn't like the way French seemed like it was harder than Spanish because we did have an option, but French to me sound harder than Spanish. And Spanish for me was difficult. I mean, I think it's really difficult to learn a foreign language in high school. I think they are starting kids earlier now, teaching them a foreign language like when they're young. Waiting until you get to high school, like your mind only wants to speak English. Your mind does not want to speak Spanish. It just don't. You know, you, we just automatically speak English. So I just didn't like it. Like even my inside voice, that internal voice was in English. So it was hard for me. I don't know if I put up some type of mental block. I mean, I passed the class, but it was difficult. Yeah, French sound hard to me. French French sounds difficult because when I was in no, did they start? No, we didn't start in middle school. When I was in middle school, we had this project where it was like this it was kind of like a wife swap situation thing where we had pen pals, right? We had pen pals that we had been writing at another school. And so the school that we had paired up with was in Albany, California, which is not really that far from Oakland. So we have been writing our pen pals, and then we were going to spend a couple of days at their school with them, and then they were going to come and spend a couple of days at our school. And when we went to their school, like these kids were already taking French. So, we went to their classes and everything that day. And it was so awkward for me because the school that I went to was predominantly white. And the kids were rude. Like, seriously. They weren't really talking to me. They were rude. My pen pal was white, but like we had kind of got to know each other through letters because I can't really remember how long we had been writing each other before we went to their school or whatever. But like my pen pals friends was just like, all standoffish, and oh god, it was a horrible experience. I was like, they didn't think that through. And so, when it was time for my pen pal to come to my school, I treated them the same way they treated me. Me and my friends, we was all standoffish too. And it was like, come on, we going to the lunchroom. Sit right there. So I was. Your friends was all mean to me. So my friend, and when I came back, I was telling my friends how mean they was, and my friends was like, "All right, then, well, we gonna be mean to them too." You know how petty you can be in junior high school? Hey, Zara. Yeah, language is hard. Language is not a different language is not easy, especially after your brain is so conditioned to speaking one language. To make it speak something else is difficult. You be glad when who? What is T? What is TMH? Girl, ain't nobody gonna give us our language back. That's bad. That's over. You're not getting that. If you want to learn the language, learn the language. Find somebody that speaks Yerba or whatever. There are Yerba language classes online and stuff. I mean, that's one thing about if you really find someone that um, practices this religion, like your godmother or whatever, more than likely already speaks um, in the Yoruba tongue, especially if your godparents are of African descent or whatever, they more than likely speak Yoruba. But I mean, even that was difficult for me. Like when you go to Bimbays or you go to um, functions for Santeria, they are singing in Yerba. Like the songs are in Yerba, the prayers are in Yerba, and it is foreign to you. We feel like since we are African American, like you feel something, like your brain feels like it should understand it, but you don't because you're American. You've been taken away from that connection. You're so far removed from the African culture that your brain can't even, it's not easy to pick up. So ain't nobody gonna give you no language back, sweetheart. Okay, Kay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get off here too because my husband sent me a message. So I'm gonna fix him a plate. I guess he busy today. So he said he just gonna be able to come in and get a plate and leave. You all right, Poochie? Yeah, Santeria and Paulo fascinates me too. But I'm speaking on not the practice of the religion because the practical things, the tangible things that we do, like the making of herbs, the baths and rituals and stuff, we won't have a problem doing those. But the songs and the prayers and stuff that we sing to the Orishas and the way that we talk to the Orishas is in Yoruba, and that is where the problem will be because we don't speak that language. We speak English. And when you practice the religion the correct way, you don't practice in English. You speak the native tongue of the Orisha, which is Yoruba. And that's what the problem is. Yeah, see, everybody in my family is American. Nobody in my family speaks anything, other than the grandkids, my granddaughters, not the boys. But my granddaughters are Filipino. They're the only people in the family that speak another language. Everybody else speaks English. There is nobody else in my family that speaks anything other than English. We we're far removed from that. Yeah, it may be simpler. It may be simpler, but just because it's simpler doesn't mean that it's better. I don't want simple. I want a connection to the Orisha. And sometimes things that you have to work for becomes more important to you. It's more important to me to learn about the Orisha the correct way than to do something that is simple. Simple is not always good. Just because it's easy doesn't mean that's the best thing. And everything shouldn't be easy. Some things you should have to work for and learn and, do it the correct way. Not, you know, just doing it because it's easy. That's the way I feel. Like I would rather challenge myself and learn to speak the Yoruba, learn the ritual in Yoruba, learn the Yoruba songs. Of course, it's going to take longer. But if you have a good teacher, you have your godparents and stuff. That's what they are there for. They know them, so they are supposed to help you learn. That's um that's part of it. So I got about 5 minutes. I'm gonna get off here and fix my husband's um plate. So when he comes home, he can pick up his lunch because I think he has to go back. Um, Do I have to heat it up? Probably. I'll heat it up for him. So do you guys have anything else you want to tell me or say before we leave? That is a good um challenge. Black experience in Japan. That thing that's been on the whole time I've been on here. But I only been on here an hour and 15 minutes. Maybe tomorrow, we can do some call-ins. Do you have the number, Monique? Do you have the call-in number? Because I can't find it. That's bad. I don't know where I wrote it down. Lord Jesus. Is it in here? I don't know, child. Do you have it? You have it? Can you email it to me? Because I don't know where it's at. I know it's in one of them books. I had like wrote it down. It's got to be in here somewhere. I know that they sent me an email. I know it's in the email or something. But I don't feel like looking for it. Can you email it to me? Um, Maybe tomorrow. Now, which phone is it on? I think it's on this phone. I think it is. I think tomorrow. Um, is that him? Is that Daddy Boy? Tomorrow we're going to try to do some call-ins. Uh-oh. Oh Lord, that's him. Okay. All right, y'all. Let me go. Um, my husband is home, so let me go help him do what he got to do. And don't forget to send that to me, um, Monique, because I don't know where that number is. And I'll talk to you guys later. I'm probably for now going to do the lives around this time, whatever time this was. What time is it? 7 o'clock. So we this probably gonna be our new normal for now. Okay, until we get stuff the way I want it, or we move, or whatever. Okay, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.